Hey guys, it's Rob, and of course you're watching RTM1. The Basket and I are here getting ready to go to Southcon next week. Well, I am. The Basket's staying because it farts too much in the car. And, it's like a almost 4 hour drive to Savannah from here. I hate you as a dick. But anyway, I don't know if I've spoken about it in the past on RTM1. There's no way to do a sarcasm emoticon, but of course I'm excited for Southcon, but one thing I don't think I've mentioned is there's two big cosplay clubs, Transformers cosplay clubs, having events there, and a group, I think they're called Guardians of the Flame, are putting on a charity event called Cosplay for a Cure, where they got like a pink fire truck, and they raise donations for cancer help, and of course the cosplayers and all that are going to basically draw attention for it, and they're going to raise awareness and get donations for cancer charities, and that's really neat. And I don't know how many guys are Star Wars fans, but the 501st is going to make an appearance. They're a big Star Wars club. They make appearances in costumes, really nice costumes, like legions of stormtroopers and clone troopers, and they're going to be there also helping raise awareness with the pink fire truck guys. And that's pretty rad. I mean, how often do you see an army of stormtroopers raise money for something good? Usually if you see an army of stormtroopers, they're going to burn down your village. Actually, you're pretty much safe when stormtroopers come up, because, I've being a 34-year-old man who has a thing for silly toy robots who fight an intergalactic war. Of course, I've seen Star Wars a million times, and pretty much if they start shooting, you can just stand right in front of them. They're not going to hit you. I mean, the safest place to be when the stormtroopers come to raid is the front of the broadside of a barn. You just stand there. Okay, guys, we're safe. They're not going to hit anything. Pretty much, if you want to be safe from stormtroopers, Cobra troopers, the A-Team, or pretty much anybody with a gun on TV, just stand in front of the broadside of a barn and you're fine. However, all the trees around you are going to fall down because they're going to screw up your woods. I kid, of course, but it'd be pretty fun to see I don't know. There's something about seeing a stormtrooper, it's like one of those iconic cool looks, and you're like, dude, you look awesome. And they're like, no, right, stormtrooper over here. Anyway, but that's going on at Southcon, and I'm pretty excited. I've got all my stuff ready to go. Me and the girlfriend this past weekend were buying snacks and stuff to take with us on the road trip there and have in the hotel and back, like different chips and candy, just stuff we like, soda, and I'm like a big fan of Mio. The little, I don't have one with me, of course. They're in the kitchen. Little bottles of juice mix. It's basically liquid Kool-Aid. You squirt it in the water, mix it up, and you got a drink. And I use it a lot for work, basically, because it just doesn't work out so well bringing a bunch of sodas when I have a water cooler. And to me, water is only something I want to drink when it's cold. So, squirt, squirt. I have a nice cherry drink, Made sure to get some of that, because I don't know if you guys, I've never had a fun experience getting a beverage at a convention. There's usually nowhere convenient to run into to grab like a soda or something. And if you're at conventions are usually hotels or convention centers, usually only the gift shops where you can get a drink, and it's like $4 for a 12-ounce can of, Dr. Pepper. And if you find a vending machine, it's even more. And, it's usually not so great, and, your best option is go to the water cooler. And like I said, if you're like me, once water gets kind of warm, I just don't want to drink it. It's hard to drink for me. So, keeping a little bottle of that stuff in my backpack. I just like doing this. And every time I got, Mio? I do that all the time. It'd be really great. I used to do the Crystal Light packets, or the little Hawaiian Punch packets, or Kool-Aid packets, where it's a little packet, you put in a little bottle of water, shake it, yay! But you know what? There's a box of little packets, or a bottle this big, which is more convenient to carry around. Not to mention, I think meal tastes better. I've talked too much about mixed drink. A drink mix. But we're looking really forward to it, as you can't tell, because every episode of this has been about Southcon. And it will be. Even afterwards, I'm like, dude, Southcon next year. Yeah, after Southcon's over, I have stuff to talk about Southcon. Because, you know, next year, we're already working on next year. Yeah. Good stuff in the news. You know, I'm a fan of the Dinobots. You know, I've always, you know, almost never miss a Dinobot toys. And I really got a thing for when the Dinobots aren't the original core members. Like, the Beast Machine Dinobots are my favorite team ever. And, you know, there's barely any fiction use of them. You know, the stuff that 3H and the TFCC is used for the record stories, and that's really it. But I've always really liked them. And since then, like, you know, the Power Core Combiners Dinobot team, had to get them. It's Dinobots that aren't the normal guys. And, see, that's really it. I mean, does Walmart Dinobot set that came out, what was that, 03? Had like a new member. I was like, oh, dude, a new Dinobot, stuff like that. Well, recently Hasbro put out a Dinobot MiniCon team, again, where they used the dinosaur molds in more G1 Dinobot colors with new names and somewhat hard to get. It was like, can you find them? I think Big Bad Toy Store had an exclusive 4-pack of them, and did they get canceled? I don't think I ever saw them on their store site. Someone got them, and then they released them in single packages, so like, you know, the Dollar Generals and Family Dollars of the world, like they usually do at minicons, and for some reason they never showed up. Well, they're now starting to show up at discounter stores, which is great, because now I can find them and they're less, because, you know, $5 for a minicon is just really expensive. But Tuesday morning I found 2 of them. Looking for the other 2, hopefully I'll be able to find them, but Tuesday mornings are like, Tuesday mornings is what Walmart is like at Silent Hill. It's like a weird store, there's barely any light, and everything's just kind of, it's like the cast of hoarders stocked the shelves. Everything's just piled up, and you got to dig. But when you find stuff, it's usually cheap. You know, thanks to Tuesday morning, I found all those RTS G1 Legends that came out that never showed up at a store. Like, the only one I haven't found is the Megatron. And hopefully I'll find him soon. If not, hey, Southcon, www.southcon.net. Why do we say www anymore? Everyone knows. I guess habits. But I found Catilla and Tricerodon. Now, Tricerodon was used before in the Beast Machine Dinobots, and if I'm right, they used him in the 03 set too. I'm having a hard time remembering. They use those names. That's the name they use a lot. But that's the Triceratops minicon mold. I haven't opened him yet. You gotta forgive me. But he looks pretty neat, huh? This is a pretty fun mold. Always liked it. Catilla is the interesting part, because Catilla is a mammal, not a dinosaur. Now, this isn't the first time a non-dinosaur dinosaur Dinobot has been used. I think Air Raptor was technically not a dinosaur. He's technically just a bird. But that's one of those ones you can be like, it's a prehistoric bird. It's a dinosaur. But Catilla is a saber-toothed tiger, which is it's kind of ridiculous and fun at the same time, because they wanted to round out the team with 4. So they made a mammal, and they used this, I think it was first used as Snarl in the Classics line. I think it's 07. And it's been used 1,000 times since. And it's a good mold. I gotta get to opening these guys. I've got a stack of Cyberverse toys I haven't went through yet, as well as a bunch of Creos. I got like a ton for like $19 this weekend, thanks to clearance sales. Eventually I'll get to them. It's like Christmas when I have these piles of toys and I get to open them. I'm like, oh wow, what's this one? Yeah, what's that one? Wow, Christmas in July. And Catilla makes me think. Of course, Catilla was a G1 character turned into a saber-toothed tiger and a pretender. And one thing that makes me think about Catilla here is, you know what, all these third-party guys making all sorts of third-party stuff, And I'm the only person that would buy this. But instead of making another Cliff Jumper head for that Cliff Jumper that came out in '07, could you guys make a Catilla Pretender shell for this? Because that would be a third-party toy I'd be interested in. You know, usually I'm like, man, I like the accessories, but usually I'm not too big on the third-party figures. But those accessories are pretty cool, and you know, a Pretender shell for Catilla here. I'd buy the F out of that. And I'd be the only one, and that company would end up losing lots of money that they put into whatever production they use to make these things. I'm ridiculous. Hi, how you doing? That pause means, ooh, sinuses. Well, thanks for watching, and next weekend's Southcon, so I'll have plenty to talk about next week, and that's actually relevant to the topic. Right on, man. Thanks for watching, and go to tfradio.net for shows and showtimes. I'm gonna hit stop now. Allergy medicine. Word. Redundant.